Ladies and gentlemen, how are you? I want to thank you so much for your participation. This has been wonderful, and I can't tell you how much better this was than last year. So just thank you. You look great in your shirts, and I just appreciate your attitudes. And hopefully you've learned something that really will impact your life longer than this weekend. I mean, that's our whole goal. And we went into this thing thinking if we could just change one person's life, then it was all worth it. But all the better if it can be more than just one. So I just really hope that you go home and talk about this with your parents and your roommates and your friends. And I know it's been a long weekend, and I know that you've been here for a Friday and a Saturday, but believe me, it means a lot to me, and my door is always open to any of you. You should know that. So go back to your classes on Tuesday and Monday. Just be really nice to your professors, say thank you, and just keep plugging and chugging, all right? Let me introduce the speaker. I'm going to read you his official bio, then I'm going to tell you the rest of the story. That's not on this piece of paper. TJ Sullivan is our speaker today. More than 2 million students at colleges and universities across the country have heard TJ speak. His travels have taken him to all 50 states. A few other facts about TJ that might interest you. He was the Maryland State bowling champion at ages 8, 9, and 10. What it doesn't say is he was competing against 6-year-olds. He has climbed the highest mountain in Colorado. He has had 3 knee surgeries. He owns a beagle named Bagel. He worked his way through college flipping pizzas. He was a founding father of his fraternity, Phi Kappa Phi, at Indiana University. He graduated college at age 19, even though he failed statistics twice. Some of you are like, yeah, man, I'm on that same path. You too could become a public speaker. He has adopted 2 kids, and I've met them both, and they're really cute. Has built 2 companies and has won awards both for his speaking and for his blog, which was recently named one of the top 10 blogs on student leadership in the nation. All right, so he's actually my boss, and this isn't on the sheet. He runs the speaking agency that I work for, and it has been just a godsend to me. They've sent me all across the country, but TJ is one of those guys that decided to give me a chance when I was just starting. And you need people like that in your life, don't you, who, when you're just brand new, they'll give you a chance, they'll believe in you, and I just am indebted to him tremendously. So let's give him a warm DU welcome.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Hello. I am wearing a suit on a Saturday, and that is remarkable because I don't ever wear suits. So not even sure this thing fits very well. So, okay, we're going to do the best we can. So some speakers like to start with a joke. I like to start with a game and giving money away. Does that sound good to anybody? All right. I have a $50 bill here, which I would like to give to one of you. Is that cool? Does anyone want to participate? Okay, so this is not a gimmick. I'm really going to give this to somebody. Where's Paula? Paula, you going to help me? Okay, so if you would like to participate in this, if you would like to be eligible for this $50, you have the same chance as everybody else. If you would like to participate, please stand where you are. If you are not physically able to stand, you can still play. Just, you're on the honor system, okay? So, okay, I love that so many of you are playing. Okay, here's what I want you to do. Everybody touch your head. Everybody touch your head. All right, everybody touch your butt. Okay, we're going to play a game called Heads or Tails. We're going to flip a coin, and before we flip the coin, we're going to say, ladies and gentlemen, heads or tails, and you have to choose heads or tails. Professor Paula will flip the coin, and if it gets what you chose, you stay standing. If not, you sit down. We'll do this until we're down to 1 person, and that person will win. It sounds so simple, and yet it will break your heart. Okay. This is a $1 coin. Ulysses Grant is the heads. The Statue of Liberty is tails. Are you ready to play? Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, heads or tails, choose. Ready? It is tails. If you had tails, stay standing. Ready? Everybody who's seated, you're now the jury. You're watching to make sure people are honest. Ready? Ladies and gentlemen, heads or tails? Choose now. Choose now. It is heads. Dude, it's my game. I do whatever I want. My game, my game. All right. Very nice, very nice. Ready, ladies and gentlemen, heads or tails? Choose. It is Tails. How many people we have left? How many people? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Those of you that are left, come up on stage. Come up on stage if you're still standing. Come on. Come up on stage. Come up on stage. All right. How many we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. So I hear these tickets are kind of a valuable thing today, yes? All right, so you're already a winner because you're getting tickets, all right? But one of you is going to get $50. Do you feel it? Are you feeling it?
Oh, yeah.
Tenacity? All right. Here we go.
Thank you.
Oh, just one. Greedy. 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 All right, that's yours. All right. That's yours. That's yours. Okay. Ready. Are we ready, Professor Paula?
I'm ready.
Ladies and gentlemen, heads or tails? Choose now. Go. What is it, Paula? Tails. And we're down to 6. You want to win so bad you can taste it. Ladies and gentlemen, heads or tails? Choose. Oh, this could be good.
It's rolling, it's rolling.
Heads! Okay, at this point, we can't have everybody choose the same one, so close your eyes. Ladies and gentlemen, heads or tails? Flip.
Tails.
Tails. Woo! Okay, close your eyes. Ready? Heads or tails? Heads. Okay. The final two. The final two. Is it Caitlin or Catlin? Caitlin, and what's your name? Steve. You two need to negotiate who's going to be heads and who's going to be tails. Decide between the two of you. Okay? The final flip. What do we have?
Tails.
Tails. Yeah. There we go. Very nice. Round of applause for everybody. Very nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now, didn't that beat some lousy joke? All right. Hello, everyone. I am TJ. I live in Aurora. I am a journalism major. I took exactly 0 business courses. I worked at the University of Denver quite a while ago, back in the late 80s, early 90s. And then a funny thing happened. I had an opportunity to start touring the country and speaking. I had no idea what the hell I was doing. I had done some amateur stand-up. I had done some presentations for classes and different things. I had never been in front of this many people. And I started speaking, and it went well. It went really well. We kind of had a good program, and it hit at the right time. And before I knew it, we were speaking at 150 or so campuses across the country every year. We were on NBC, we were on ABC, CBS, CNN. I went from making 30 grand at DU, which was so sad, to considerably better than that. Was able to buy a house, able to do a lot of different things. My life changed because I went and did something that I thought would be fun. Had no idea how to run a business, no idea whatsoever. In '99, I got a little tired of the road. I had gotten up to about 300 pounds, and I wasn't very healthy. It's not a very easy way to live, and I decided to come back to Denver. Had no idea what I was going to do, had a little time, a little bit of money to coast on, and I decided to start a company that would send speakers to college campuses all over the United States. I figured I had done it. I knew a little bit about how to do it. Maybe I could show some other people how to do it. Maybe people would trust that I knew what the hell I was doing. It kind of went great. '99, I started that company. Our company's now about a $4.5 million a year company. Corey is one of our speakers. He's one of our most successful speakers. On any given night in this country, there's as many as 100,000 college students listening to somebody that I help put in front of them, which is really, really awesome. I have 13 people that work for me, and I'm not a millionaire. I'm not even close. I mean, my house payment kicks my ass every month. I am not standing up here today as someone who is like rich and some big mogul who's going to teach you how to be a billionaire. I'm not going to be good at that. I don't have a lot of money, and I don't really care that much about money. I get to do something really cool all the time. People like what I do. People admire what I do. I have employees who love coming to work, and we have a great time making a living and doing good things for people. And that is like a dream for me, and I love that. For some of you in this room, maybe that's a similar path you'll have. So Corey said, well, TJ, you run a good company. You're a guy who didn't know crap about business, but you started a pretty good one. Maybe you'd come talk to this group, and that's why I'm here today. So let me start off with this. First, let me see if this thing works. All right, come on, please. There we go. How many of you have a friend? Tell me if this has ever happened to you. Have you ever had a friend who goes to a show, Red Rocks or Fillmore or something like that, goes to a concert for some random band you've never heard of before, and they come back and all they will talk about is this damn band? Have you ever had that happen? Right? Some of you, yeah? Okay. You're like, at first, you're like, really good band? That's awesome. That's great. But then they won't shut the hell up about it, right? And that pretty soon they're wearing the T-shirt for it, and they're playing the CD constantly, and they always do this stuff to you, like, dude, just listen to these 3 songs. I swear to God that you will love them if you listen to these 3 songs. And you're like, all right, fine. And you listen to a song, you're like, okay, yeah, they're fine, they're great. No, man, they're like the best. They're like amazing. Wait, listen to this song. And before you know it, a half hour of your life has been wasted on some band that you really don't give a crap about, right? And you keep waiting for them to shut up about this band, but they have become this disciple, and they want to follow this band around, and they want to tell everybody they know about this band, and everyone sees them coming a mile away. Like you go to a party and they want to put this damn CD on, you're like, ugh, right? Okay. My impression is that many people who end up being really great leaders, really great business people, kind of come out of school and are like that person who went to the concert. Right? Because you go to DU, you go to this school, the Daniels College of Business, this awesome school that is nationally ranked and doing amazing things, and you feel really capable, and you feel really smart, and you've got a lot of answers, and you learned a lot, and you're excited, and you're ready to go out there and just tell everybody how to do it, right? And you think, all right, I'm going to really make my career, it's going to kick ass, it's going to be amazing. I'm going to convert those who don't understand. I'm going to share my business knowledge, and I'm going to build a great company, or I'm going to make a company greater, that sort of thing. And here's the funny thing, is that you become like the person who went to the concert who all they'll talk about is the band they heard. And then a funny thing happens. You get out into that first job, you are smart, you've got great information in your brain, but you find out that nobody's listening to you. You find out that people kind of think you're annoying, and you're wondering what the hell you did wrong. You see, you can't go and leave this educational experience that you're having and start telling people what they're going to do and how they should do it, right? They didn't go to the concert. Do you understand that? You went to the concert. And the funny thing is, the person who has the most control in most offices is not as educated as you, doesn't have the fancy degree. They're the person who decides when the copier is going to be fixed, or the person who handles the payroll, or the person who has been in that job for 25 years, has 5 more to go, and really thinks you're a gigantic pain in his ass. Right? So the funny thing about college is you learn all this great business school stuff, but you better be using this time as an undergraduate in college to learn about how to shape people, how to inspire people, how to get people excited about things. Now you might learn some of that in the business school, but I think you're really going to learn it by going out on campus and being involved and getting involved in organizations on campus, different movements, whatever. Like, get involved and help learn how to lead people. Some of you didn't sign up to be a leadership major. But if you're going to be successful in business, I think you're going to have to really, if you're going to be a good ethical business person, you're going to have some self-awareness about how you inspire people and how you shape what they do. Because no one does it by themselves. You got to chill out. See, and the funny thing is the last thing we do before we send you out to the world is have this graduation where you put on a robe and a hat and you feel like just a really big shit, right? You feel really smart and you feel very accomplished and you're really full of all the potential and everything you're going to do. The funny thing is I would love to have like an interview with everybody 3 months after they graduate and see how they're feeling. Most of them are like, oh, real world is totally different than what I learned in school, right? You got to chill out. Because if you don't, because a lot of people won't, right? They're going to fight. They're going to get in there and they're going to argue with everybody and they're going to tell everybody they're wrong and they're going to try to make sure they understand everything they learned in business school. And if you try to do that, well, you're just going to get frustrated and you're going to become this zealous freak that people like can't stand to be around and you'll be intense and paranoid. You'll be like this guy. Yeah, right? Right? That guy, right? That guy from The Office, he's awesome, right? That dude totally went to business school, right? He learned all the procedures in the right place, and nobody listens to him, right? They all think he's an idiot, and I don't want that to be you, all right? So today, my message is going to be, how do we get you to be a little wiser, a little more savvy? How are you going to inspire people along the way, along with all this great knowledge you're going to learn about marketing and accounting and finance and all these different things? That's all really important, and God, I wish I had some of it, right? But you better learn how to inspire some people along the way, and learn it while you're here at DU as an undergrad, or you're going to be at a disadvantage. You're going to be at a disadvantage, okay? I want to talk to you about tomatoes. Why? I don't know, because I want to, all right? Tomatoes. I love tomatoes. I grow tomatoes. I eat. There's hardly a day that goes by that I don't eat tomatoes. I can go to a grocery store and shop the hell out of some tomatoes. I know the good ones. I know different kinds of tomatoes. My mother, I'm a mutt. I'm Irish and French, okay? Irish, you can tell from the white, shiny skin contrasting with this black suit. The French part, a little harder to see. You know, my mom is French. She's from the Mediterranean. She calls us the olive people. Everything that my mother ever cooked had tomatoes in it, right? From the time I was a child, we had lots and lots of tomatoes. And I want to share with you a little bit about the history of a tomato because I think it's going to provide a good lesson for you, and maybe it'll make you hungry. Okay. So listen, everybody think, if you had to guess where tomatoes first originated, where would you guess? So, oh, you look, someone is really smart about tomatoes. Good for you. Are you right on? He is right. Okay. You were supposed to say Italy. That's what, okay, we got one smarty pants up here. It's South America. Okay, right. All right. Thanks. Just kick the speaker in the nuts. That's cool. All right. Yes, South America, probably around Peru, right? The conquistadors in the 1600s, they were roaming North America and they were finding all sorts of things and naming everything with European names and pillaging and doing all the things that we're so good at. And one of the things they did was they collected seeds from plants that they found, right? And they found these sort of a variation of what today's tomato seeds are, and they dried them, packed them up, and they took them back to Europe. All right, they were mostly Spanish. Some of them were, influenced toward France and Italy, and the Southern Europeans were the first outside of South America to really start cultivating the tomato. Right? Which is why a lot of us think of Italy or France or Spain, places where almost every dish has some sort of tomato in it. We think that most of the tomato must have originated there, except for that guy. All right? The conquistadors were the first to discover it and bring it to the white folk, right? And then the Europeans had it. Now, a funny thing with the Europeans are French, I'm half French, right? We like to make things very dramatic, right? So they didn't call it the tomato, they called it the apple of love. Right? The apple of love, because we're French and that's what we do, right? We make things very dramatic, right? So they called it the apple of love, and they started making dishes and all these different things out of it, and it became this big exotic thing, and it started pervading the whole menu of places like Italy and southern France and eastern Spain and things like that, right? All right, the apple of love. Well, the apple of love, the people the colder Europeans, the really, really white Europeans, saw the apple of love and went, those crazy French, those crazy Italians are eating that disgusting thing. It is poisonous. It is disgusting. It is an aphrodisiac. That's why they're all so sexual and doing each other all the time. It's those frickin' red thing, those apples of love, right? They're horrible, they're dangerous, and all the English people and everybody were like, tomatoes are, these apples of love are hideous, they're horrible, right? So for a long time, for another 100 years or so, the whole apple of love, the whole tomato thing, you only found it really in Europe among the white folk, or pretty much among Italy, France, and some of those countries. It wasn't really growing outside of that. Okay? People, and all these negative rumors started spreading about the tomato. People were afraid of it, right? They thought it was poisonous. Then, in the 1700s, Thomas Jefferson, actually it was the early 1800s, Thomas Jefferson had done the whole, building a country thing, was kind of like hanging out at his Monticello, and he had a lot of time to cook and garden and stuff, right? And he'd been to Europe a bunch of times, and he was really popular with the French, and he liked everything French. And so he started growing tomatoes. And like getting an invitation to Thomas Jefferson's house was like a big deal. And Thomas Jefferson always served tomatoes. And in those days, the newspapers would be like, oh, so-and-so went to Thomas Jefferson's house, and they had this for dinner, and they had the apple of love, otherwise known as the tomato. And like it started being kind of like trendy. And like the elite started being like, oh, we have this fabulous product we can bring from Europe, and we can grow some here. And it started becoming this kind of exclusive, cool thing. But mostly, people still thought it was poisonous. People were scared to death of tomatoes. Maybe part of it because the rest of the plant is completely poisonous, but the fruit not, right? But they thought, oh, this is a poisonous thing. Thomas Jefferson's crazy. He's going to die soon, whatever, right? Then this guy came along named Colonel Robert Gibbon Johnson. And he did something that was a big stunt back in 1834, right? He went on the courthouse steps with a basket of tomatoes, invited the press, they all showed up, and he sat there and ate the whole damn basket of tomatoes. And they all sat with him for more than 24 hours waiting for him to die. And he didn't die, right? It got national news coverage. 1834, there wasn't much going on, all right? This was a big deal. Right. Johnson was crazy. He ate a whole basket of these things. And all of a sudden, the tomatoes started coming around. People were a little bit less afraid of the tomato, right? Then this guy named Joseph Campbell came along, and you know what he created. Campbell's soup, tomato soup. See, because people were still afraid of the tomato, but they were like, oh, if you process it and put it with a bunch of water and a bunch of other stuff, maybe it won't kill you, right? And so Campbell's soup, mid-1800s, became more of a regular thing, and people started eating it. And the tomato started becoming more popular to the point where now we have ketchups and salsas and soups and all kinds of things. None of you would be afraid to eat a tomato today. A lot of you probably have eaten a tomato chopped up on your salad, which people wouldn't have done until the early 1900s. Tomato even became kind of like a cool thing, It became like this cool, if you had tomatoes, you were cool, Like in the 1920s, when a woman was really, really hot, they would call her a hot tomato. No, seriously, there's like planes from that, they were called the hot tomato, right? The whole tomato had come around. It only took 400 years for the tomato to become acceptable. 400 years. Why am I telling you about tomatoes? Because as a leader, as a business person, eventually one of these days, you're going to have to figure out where you fall in relation to the tomato. You're going to have to figure out, what are you good at? What part in the tomato saga would you have been most likely to play? Follow me here. There's the conquistadors who discover things. They're the ones who invent, the ones who dream, the ones who discover where the ideas originate. Are you going to be like the apple of love people who are the first ones to try it out, first ones to make recipes, first one to be a little dangerous, scare people a little bit? Are you going to be like Jefferson, Johnson, or Campbell, right? Are you going to be the ones who actually make it acceptable and make people understand that this is not a scary thing, that this is something that will make their lives better, something they might enjoy? Or will you be the person who invents paste picante salsa? Are you going to take something that has been accepted, and are you going to turn it on its head and make it completely reinvent it? You see, because we can't all do all four things. You can't do all four things, okay? Conquistadors couldn't make salsa. That should be my t-shirt. Conquistadors couldn't make salsa. You have to ask yourself over the next 3 or 4 years, what are you good at? Especially when it relates to the people around you. Are you good at introducing ideas? Are you good at making people think about ideas and maybe consider things more? Are you the kind that's going to shake people up and make them try something? Or are you going to find a way to make it mass acceptable? Or are you going to be somebody who goes and takes something that's been around forever and you're going to make it better, put a new twist on it? Me, I think I'm like the crazy ass with the basket of tomatoes. Right? I didn't invent college speaking. God knows, people have been doing it forever. But I realized that when people think of motivational speakers, they pretty much think douchebag, right? Motivational speakers, when you think of a motivational speaker, you're like, okay, if you can live it, you can be it. I hate those people, right? Hate those people, right? That is not me. I don't like that, you know. I just did not want to be one of those people. So for me, I went out and recreated it, and then I hired 50 more people, kind of like Corey and others, who go out there and aren't douchebags, who actually have something to say, who actually entertain people and actually have good ideas that relate to the people they're talking to. No acronyms and crazy bullshit from my speakers, okay? I'm a Johnson. I like to shake things up, right? But I'm not very good at thinking of the original idea. That's not my strength. Steve Jobs, right? The messiah of business right now, right? Poor guy, rest in peace, right? The guy did not make salsa. Do you understand this? He didn't discover half the stuff that he became a billionaire for, right? He didn't invent any of the computer stuff with the app. He didn't write any of the code or make. Steve Wozniak did that. Jobs didn't know how to program a computer, right? He didn't invent digital music. He didn't invent GPS positioning. All these things, the thing he was good at was marrying design and function. He was so good at that. He was terrible with people. Terrible. People I know who have worked at Apple said, you know what, when they were happy about Apple, it wasn't because Steve Jobs walked in the room, because he was kind of a huge asshole and they didn't like him. But they loved their stock numbers, and they loved the culture that he created. Him personally, not really great with people. He was not a great manager. They tried to pull people away from him because he screamed a lot at people. Okay? Wasn't what he was good at. Steve Jobs, one of the biggest success stories in modern business history, found out what he was good at and became the best at it. And the other things he wasn't good at, he let other people do. Now's the time when you have to figure this out. Now's the time when you have to figure this out. I just threw a picture of Jefferson. A very gay Jefferson. Right? Yeah, God love him. Yeah. That's in France, you know. Their version, our Jefferson's very American, very staid, you know. Their Jefferson's like, hey, France. Okay. He's working that hip. I love it. All right. I am just a big gay Jefferson. Okay. As you are learning how to best ignite others, you have to become a leader who inspires others. If you are going to be successful, you're going to have to get good at leadership. Whether you are a leader on campus, that doesn't mean that you're a president of something. You can be a leader on campus, in your business school, in your community, and not be president of anything, okay? But if you're going to be a leader, you have to do a few things that will make you outstanding. And if you can use this time while you're in school to learn these things, you'll do great. There's this book called The Leadership Challenge. I am not a big leadership book guy, but I work in the higher education world. And Kouzes and Posner are huge in the higher ed world, right? They wrote this book, The Leadership Challenge, and because my business is in higher education, I've met these guys, I hear about these guys a lot, and all of my customers and people I deal with on a daily basis can quote you this stuff from them verbatim. I'm not sure how much of this will filter into your curriculum, so I wanted to share with you, they identified the 5 key ways that you can be an outstanding leader. 5 key ways. And as I read these and got to know these things, I'm like, I believe in all of these things. These things are absolutely, if I had to say, what are some things that I think I've tried really hard to do that have worked well for me, these 5 things fit. So I'm going to share them with you because I think that if you can start understanding these things, you'll be a good leader here, and then when you get out in the real world, you'll be an even better business person, okay? First thing they say is you have to model the way. You have to model, people have to see you being a leader. It's not enough to be a thinking leader. You have to be doing something. You have to be acting. People have to see it. I lead a company of 50 of the most powerful speakers in the country. And I work very hard to make sure that I'm a good speaker, that I am still able to make myself better, that I'm doing things, I'm keeping up on technology, I'm keeping up on marketing. My speakers come to our company meetings and they see me and they know that I'm one of the hardest working speakers in the business. I have to model the way. I have to treat my employees in a way that I would like to be treated. Leadership isn't something you do, okay? If you're doing it right, it's something you are. It's what people see you doing in the smallest little things you do, right? Model the way. Be the person, be the leader that people want to follow, right? Inspire a shared vision. Don't lead your people, walk with them in the lead position. I put a picture of the Occupy movement, which is kind of ballsy, I guess, to do with a business school crowd, right? Because there's a lot of activity going on right now around this, right? And I'm fascinated watching this because whether you're like fired up on one side of the whole Occupy movement or not, or whatever, or whether you're just watching it like I am right now, it's kind of fascinating to watch because they're in this place right now where they're going to have to start speaking a vision soon if it's going to go anywhere. Like right now, it's a lot of people that are very passionate and demonstrating and really like kind of very emotional about what they're doing. But eventually, if it's going to go anywhere, there's going to have to be a vision. And somebody's going to have to step forward and say, this is what this stands for. Right? With my company, I did this. Corey asked me to, Professor Cicchetti, sorry, asked me to share this with you. When we started Campus Speak, you know, I had to define, my team and I decided some core values that we stood for, that we wanted to run our company with. All right? I know you can read, but I just want to review these quickly. We will touch people's lives. Number one, notice it does not say we will make money. We will dominate, right? Other companies may. We're in the business of touching people's lives. Number one, first and foremost. Second, we'll be advocates for students and the professionals who work with them. We are all about students. We love students. I would rather hang out with college students than just about any group of people I could possibly hang out with. I find your peers and you exciting. You get me excited. You keep me young. I feel good when I'm with college students. I've devoted my career to that audience. And I find people who share that feeling with me. We'll put our relationships with our customers first. You know, when Professor Cicchetti goes out and speaks for our company, he doesn't get picked up in a limo and in green M&Ms or whatever. He is the hired help, and he goes there to do work. The special people are the ones sitting in the seats, right? We serve the students. We put our customers first. We are not a bunch of raging egos, all right? The fourth one, we will promote a low-pressure, low-maintenance business philosophy. I am crazy zealous about this particular point. Our company when you call my company, I want to make sure that that's the best phone call you had all day. Our employees are so friendly and helpful, they will drop everything they're doing and get you an answer immediately to anything, for any reason, right? We are low maintenance. We try to make things easy. We're always looking for ways to make things easy for our customers. This is sort of I call it the no douchebag clause in our core values, right? I want to make sure that we're like nice people that people want to deal with, that we make things easy, and we let them. People on college campuses are busy. We don't need to make them busier, right? So that was important to me. And finally, we'll do all these things with honesty, creativity, professionalism, flexibility, and a sense of humor. I want to make sure we're having fun. I want to make sure we don't have any hard and fast rules. When every year I ask my employees to evaluate our company, and the number one thing that they say they love about working at Campus Speak isn't the salaries, because I don't pay very well. Okay, I can't, all right? The number one thing they say they love, some variation of this is, when you work for my company, we can have an idea at 9 a.m. and we could be putting it into action the next day. We'll try anything. It's a very creative, very forward-moving office, and we love it. And I draw people in who like that kind of mentality. These are our core values. The company you start someday might have very, very different ones. This was mine. This is what I knew I could get up every morning and feel great about. This is what I could lead people around. I could get people excited about that. Challenge the process. I don't care if you're an accountant in a big firm where no one even knows who you are, or if you're a small business owner, or if you're an artist, whatever. Challenge the process. Greatness comes because you look at something and go, why do we do it this way? Has anyone ever asked that we do it a different way? What if we did it this way? Sometimes just asking people to start brainstorming some ideas can change everything. Challenge the process. Don't just learn what others have done. Business school is great for that, all right? You can learn what other people have done, but that doesn't mean that's anything that you have to do. Challenge the process. Do something better. Be original. The world loves originality. Enable others to act. Cruzes and Posner say that this is one of the most important things. You have to enable people to act. I've been reading a lot of the Steve Jobs biographies that have been in the news lately because I've been an Apple guy since I was in high school. And he's clearly impacted my life a lot. So I've been reading a lot about him. And you know the funny thing about Steve Jobs, even though I kind of said some negative things about him, which you could read in any article right now, he was really good at letting people do what they do best. The things he wasn't good at, he hired people, the best people, by the way, paid them a lot of money, gave them a lot of stock options, and let them go crazy doing what they're good at. And enabling others to act is so critical. Ladies and gentlemen, before I started this business, if you put a P&L, a budget sheet in front of me, I would cry, right? I failed statistics twice. You heard it, right? I seriously can have a complete meltdown when I don't understand numbers. I'm bad with numbers. I'm not an analysis guy. I can market anything. I'm an awesome marketer. I'm awesome at a lot of things. I'm a good writer, but I'm terrible at numbers. So the first thing I did when I started my business was hire somebody who was really good at them, right? I can't design. I can't do graphic design. I hire somebody who's good at it, and I let him do what he wants to do. Enable other people to act. When you're leading on your campus, don't try to be like you're the person who knows how to do everything. If you're that leader, you're just going to burn yourself out and piss everybody off. Let people do what they're good at. You do what you're good at. And encourage the heart. I told you I love working with college students. I'm a fraternity man. I'm an advisor to our Pi Kappa Phi chapter up at CSU, and I do some work with CU. I'm going up tonight, actually, for the 20-year anniversary of our Pi Kappa Phi fraternity chapter at CU. I helped start that chapter 20 years ago. The reason why I share this picture with you is because it was my fraternity that taught me how to really encourage people and make them want to do things. I found out at an early age that I was really good at getting young guys to get passionate and excited about certain things. I found out I was really good at it. I was a good leader in my fraternity for doing that. If I'd never joined a fraternity, I don't know I would have ever learned that. All right? For me, that was my laboratory. That's where I learned how to get people excited about things. And I still love it. I still go back and get involved with my fraternity and work with the students because, you know, if you can get a group of college guys to start doing some amazing things, you can shape and move any group of people in the world. I really believe that. Encourage the heart. Encourage the heart. Make people feel good about what they're doing. If you can do those 5 things, and if you can practice those in the next 3-4 years, however long you have, and learn all that great information, you won't be that headbanger from the concert who makes everybody crazy. You'll be someone who people find fascinating and interesting, somebody that people want to spend time with, somebody that people want to follow and want to walk with you towards something awesome. And maybe you'll make a few million, or just be like me and own a cheap suit. The future is not some place we are going to, but one we are creating. The paths are not to be found, but made, and the activity of making them changes both the maker and the destination. This hangs in my office. This hangs in not my particular room, in my office, so all the employees and everybody who's part of our company can see this. I don't have a strategic plan. I know you're supposed to. I don't have a 3-year plan. I don't have projections for sales 5 years from now. I'm not even sure what I'm going to be selling 5 years from now. That's probably why I'm broke. But when people come in, they know that they're part of creating whatever we're going to be 5 days from now. And they're going to have fun doing it. And I think that makes me happy every day to go to work. I invite you to visit my website. I write a blog for student leaders. I don't typically talk to business students. I'm usually talking to student organization leaders all over the country. A lot of good stuff there, I hope. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, it's all there. Thank you for your time. I hope you have a great day, and I hope this inspired you a little bit. Thank you very much.
That is exactly how I wanted this ethics boot camp to end. Let's hear it again for TJ. You know, nothing we did this weekend was by mistake, right? We sort of set it up so we would end with a bang. TJ has a book, brand new, called Motivating the Middle. It's on Amazon, and we talked yesterday about how 10% of us will be ethical all the time, 10% of us will be unethical all the time, and the other 80% are sort of in the middle, and we have to motivate and incentivize them the right way. I have some people I need to thank, and then I'll turn this over to Professor Holt. And let's just start with Professor Holt, since she's here. Wait, hold on. Professor Holt has put probably 150 to 200 hours into this completely for free because she believes in you. She just said, Corey, how can I help you do this? I know you need help. So one more hand for Professor Holt. So she's a wonderful person and a wonderful professor. If you get a chance to take one of her classes, you should. Amanda, where are you? Oh, no. When you see Amanda outside, Amanda Dendorfer, she's the one that's put all this together behind the scenes. Make sure you thank her. And if you're in a black shirt, stand up. Stand up. Sasha, wave. Listen, I couldn't have asked for better leaders. You didn't notice any of the mistakes that were made because these people covered for us and just really made it wonderful. So again, make sure you give your leader a hug on the way out. I'm going to turn this over to Professor Holt. Thank you very much.
How about we give a round of applause for Professor Cicchetti? I couldn't ask for a better boss, so thank you from the bottom of my heart and for allowing me to be a part of this. Right now, we are going to head out to the green that's right outside of Davis. I have, in my hot little hands, an iPad too, some gift cards to the DU bookstore. I think we still have some gift cards to Chipotle and some t-shirts we're going to give away. If you have any remaining tickets, then you can hand them to me and put them in the bucket when we go outside. We'll get a little ice cream, have a little fun, and then we'll start giving away stuff. How about that? So head on out. Thank you so much for being great.